My friends, let me begin today with a simple truth that changed my life many years ago. One day, I looked at my results, my health, my money, my habits, my future, and I realized something important. I was working hard. I was trying hard. I was even hoping hard. But nothing in my life was changing. And that day I understood, your life does not get better by chance. Your life gets better by change. Not by luck, not by wishes, but by the quiet adjustments you make in your daily philosophy. Most people spend their whole life waiting for a breakthrough, waiting for the right time, waiting for circumstances to shift. But let me tell you, the real turning point is not when the world changes. The real turning point is when you change. When you say, that's it, I'm done repeating the same old mistakes. And that's why we're here today, because most people don't need 100 new ideas. They don't need a library full of strategies. They need 3 simple habit reversals, 3 switches that take them off the path of failure and put them on the road to fortune. See, here's what I discovered. People fail the same way they succeed, little by little. A few small errors in judgment repeated every day lead to disaster. And a few simple disciplines practiced every day lead to success. So today, I want to help you identify the little errors you must stop and the powerful disciplines you must start. Not next year, not next month, but today. Because success is not a secret, success is a set of habits. And if you learn to stop doing the habits that weaken you and start doing the habits that strengthen you, everything begins to shift. Your confidence shifts. Your opportunities shift. Your income shifts. Your entire future shifts. These next few minutes could be the beginning of a brand new story, your story, if you choose it to be. So let's begin the journey. Not with complexity, but with clarity. Not with pressure, but with purpose. 3 habit reversals, 3 life changes. And the first step is simply the decision to listen with intention, not casually, not passively, but deliberately. Because the ideas you take in today can change the next 10 years of your life if you let them. Now, if you're ready, let's move into the first principle behind all real transformation, a principle I call the law of opposites. Now let's talk about something I call the law of opposites, one of the most powerful ideas I ever learned, and one that can transform your habits faster than anything else. It simply says this: every life is moving in one direction or the other. There is no neutral. You're either drifting or driving. You're either building or breaking. You're either planting seeds or pulling weeds. And the truth is, most people aren't failing because of one big mistake. Oh no. They're failing because of 1,000 little ones each, too small to notice until the results appear. Let me tell you what I found. Early in my career, failure is nothing more than a few errors in judgment repeated every day. And success? Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. That's the law of opposites. 2 paths, 2 directions, 2 outcomes. And the difference between them is often a single habit, one habit you keep, or one habit you quit. You see, you don't need to change your entire life overnight. You just need to stop doing the thing that is quietly destroying your progress and start doing the thing that is quietly building your future. One shift, one reversal, one decision. This is how ordinary lives become extraordinary. Not through dramatic leaps, but through small corrections. Let me give you an example. For years, I watched people with incredible potential, bright, talented, wonderful people ruin their chances simply because they never recognized the small habits holding them back. They weren't lazy. They weren't unintelligent. They simply didn't understand that the wrong habit, repeated long enough, becomes a destiny. But here's the good news. If a small bad habit can ruin your future, then a small good habit can rebuild it. That's the beautiful symmetry of life. It's fair, it's balanced, it's predictable. You don't need a miracle, you need a shift. The law of opposites says, if you stop wasting time and start investing time, your life changes. If you stop consuming everything and start creating value, your income changes. If you stop emotional spending and start disciplined investing, your future changes. The very habit that harms you has an opposite habit that heals you. And once you understand this law, you no longer feel overwhelmed by change. You feel empowered by it. Remember this line. Write it down if you can. You are never more than one habit away from a new life. So today, I want you to think differently. Don't say, I need to change everything. No, that's too heavy, too frustrating. Say instead, I need to reverse one thing. Because when you reverse one habit, you reverse your direction. And when you reverse your direction, you reverse your destiny. And now that you understand this law, it's time to apply it. Let's begin with the first habit shift, the one that controls the quality of your days and the future of your life. Let's talk about how to stop wasting time and start investing it. Now let's begin with the first great reversal, the one that determines the quality of every day you live. Stop wasting time and start investing it. My friends, time is the great equalizer. The millionaire and the struggler both wake up with 24 hours. But here's the secret. The difference in their results is never the hours. It is the use of those hours. And most people, without even realizing it, leak away their hours like water through open fingers. Let me tell you what I discovered early in my journey. Most people aren't out of time, they're out of focus. They're busy doing things that don't matter. They're occupied but unproductive. They're active but not effective. They scroll, they wander, they react, they drift. And drifting is the most dangerous habit of all, because you can drift for years and not even feel it until the results show up, and then the price is enormous. I once met a young man who told me, Mr. Rohn, I'm always busy. And I said, busy doing what? He went silent. And that silence told me everything. You see, it's not enough to be busy. Ants are busy. Bees are busy. The question is, busy for what purpose? A life filled with busyness but empty of direction is a tragedy in progress. So here's the new philosophy, the one that changed my life forever. Don't start your day until you have it finished. That simply means plan first, act second. Don't open the door to the world before you've opened the door to your own priorities. Let me give you a small discipline. It's easy. It takes 10 minutes. It costs nothing, but it may save your future. Sit down each morning or the night before and plan your day. Pick your top 3 priorities. Ask yourself, what activities today will move me toward the person I want to become? Then schedule time for them just like an appointment. Because here's the truth. If you don't run the day will run you. And the day will run you right into distraction, right into stress, right into frustration. You see, time is not something to be spent. Time is something to be invested wisely, intentionally, purposefully. When you decide to invest 1 hour in learning, you change your knowledge. When you invest 1 hour in a skill, you change your potential. When you invest 1 hour in your health, you change your energy. And when you invest 1 hour in planning, you change the course of your entire day. Success does not require 8 hours of genius. It requires 1 hour of intention. Let me share something else. A wasted hour costs more than you think because it repeats. And an invested hour rewards more than you think because it compounds. If you waste 1 hour every day, that's 365 hours a year, 9 full 40-hour work weeks thrown away. But if you invest 1 hour every day, that's 9 work weeks of skill, growth, and development added to your life. Imagine the difference after 5 years. That's the power of time investment. So here's your new habit. No more drifting. No more I'll see how the day goes. No more surrendering your schedule to every distraction that knocks on your door. Instead, start your day with purpose. Fill your day with priorities. End your day with progress. Because once you learn to invest your time, you begin to invest your life. And a life invested wisely becomes a life lived wisely. Now that we've mastered the first reversal, it's time to move into the second one that has the power to shift your income, your opportunities, and your influence. Let's talk about how to stop consuming everything and start producing value. Now let's move to the second great reversal, one of the most powerful ideas you will ever apply to your financial life, your career, and your personal growth. It is the shift from being a consumer to becoming a producer. My friends, we live in a world where consumption is easier, faster, and more addictive than ever before. Entertainment on demand, information on demand, distraction on demand. You can spend a whole day consuming videos, gossip, news, trends, and end that day with nothing added to your life. Let me tell you the truth. Most people want the good life, but they never give anything good to life. They want the rewards without the contribution, the applause without the effort, the income without the value. And that is why so many remain stuck. Because consumption feels good, but production creates good. I used to tell my students, we get paid for the value we bring to the marketplace. Not for our time, not for our needs, not for our hopes. You can't take your needs to the marketplace and say, please pay me because I need it. The marketplace says, show me your value, show me your skill, show me the problem you solve. And that is the difference between struggling financially and rising financially. You see, consumption is easy. Creation is rare. And because it's rare, it's valuable. A young man once told me, Mr. Rohn, I want to earn more. And I said, good, become more. You don't get paid by the hour, you get paid by the value you put into the hour. And the moment you shift your thinking from what can I watch to what can I create, everything changes. So what does it mean to start producing value? It means learning a skill that solves a problem, sharing knowledge that helps someone, creating something useful, content, products, ideas, becoming better at your job so the marketplace sees more value in you, turning a talent into a service, turning curiosity into expertise, turning struggle into a lesson that inspires others. My friends, value is the currency of success. If you want more opportunities, produce more value. If you want more income, increase your value. If you want more influence, distribute your value. Let me give you a small example. When you read a good book and share what you learned, you become a distributor of wisdom, not just a consumer of information. When you practice a skill for 30 minutes a day, you become a person who grows, not a person who only watches others grow. When you help someone improve their situation, you become a person of contribution, not just a spectator of life. And the marketplace rewards contributors. Remember this line. If you want more, you must become more. And if you become more, the world cannot help but respond. Now, this shift from consuming to producing is not instant. It takes awareness, discipline, and intention. But once you adopt it, your entire financial life reorganizes itself in your favor. Because when you create value, you attract opportunities. When you add value, you attract income. When you embody value, you attract respect. And that brings us to the next major reversal, one that determines whether your money works for you or disappears from your hands. Let's talk about how to stop emotional spending and start strategic investing. Now let's move to the third great reversal, a shift that can completely alter the course of your financial future. And it begins by understanding a painful truth. Most people are not broke because of lack of income. They are broke because of lack of discipline. Not because they don't earn enough, but because they don't keep enough. And the reason they don't keep enough is simple. They spend emotionally instead of investing strategically. My friends, emotional spending is one of the quietest destroyers of wealth. It doesn't shout. It whispers. It whispers in the moment you're tired, the moment you're stressed, the moment you want to feel better, the moment you want to impress someone. A new gadget here, a fancy dinner there, a subscription you forgot about, and suddenly the month is over and the money's gone. Let me tell you something I learned the hard way. You cannot spend your way into a better future, but you can certainly spend your way out of one. I once had a student who said, Mr. Rohn, I don't know where all my money goes. I said, well, let's check where your emotions go. Because when your emotions are out of control, your money soon follows. Happiness? Swipe the card. Boredom? Swipe the card. Stress? Swipe the card. Approval? Swipe the card. And each swipe is a silent promise that your future will pay for your present impulses. But here's the good news. Just like emotional spending destroys wealth, little by little, strategic investing builds wealth, little by little, one disciplined choice at a time. And that, my friends, is the shift we want to make. Now, what does strategic investing mean? It doesn't mean you need a fortune to start. It doesn't mean you need to be a financial genius. It simply means you understand Jim Rohn's fundamental principle. Income feeds you. Assets free you. Let me say that again because it's worth hearing twice. Income feeds you. Assets free you. Income is what you earn today. Assets are what feed you tomorrow. Income is survival. Assets are freedom. So how do you start investing strategically? You begin with a simple habit. Set aside a percentage of everything you earn, not when you earn more, not when you feel ready, not when it's convenient. You start now. Because if you can't invest a little when you have a little, you won't invest a lot when you have a lot. It's not a money issue. It's a discipline issue. Start with 5%, then grow to 10%. And as your discipline grows, your freedom grows. What do you invest in? Books that expand your thinking, courses that grow your skills, tools that increase your productivity, assets that generate cash flow, stocks, index funds, real estate, small businesses. And here's the beauty. Every invested dollar becomes a quiet employee working for you, even when you sleep. I started small, very small, but every little investment planted a seed. Some grew slowly, some grew quickly, but they grew. And over time, those seeds became trees, and those trees became a forest. That's the magic of discipline. That's the magic of investing. That's the magic of planting today so you can harvest tomorrow. So I want you to make this shift today. Stop buying what you don't need. Stop buying to feel something. Stop buying to impress people who don't care. And instead, start investing in your future. Start investing in your value. Start investing in your freedom. Because one day, when you wake up and your assets are feeding you, you'll remember this moment. You'll remember when you stopped spending emotionally and started investing strategically. Now that we've examined all three major habit reversals, it's time to explore the deeper force behind all change, the philosophy that separates drift from discipline, regret from responsibility, and average lives from exceptional ones. Let's talk about the philosophy of discipline over drift. Now that we've walked through the three great habit reversals, let's step into the principle that supports them, all the foundation on which every change, every success, every transformation is built, and that is the philosophy of discipline over drift. If you grasp this, truly grasp it, the rest of your life begins to take shape with astonishing clarity. My friends, let me tell you something I learned very early. Nobody drifts their way to success. You can drift into trouble, you can drift into bad habits, you can drift into debt, you can drift into regret, but you cannot drift into a life you are proud of. Drift is the natural direction of life. Discipline is the chosen direction. Let me say that again because it cuts straight to the truth. Drift is automatic, discipline is intentional. If you don't choose discipline, you will get drift. It happens silently, slowly, comfortably, until suddenly the results show up, and then it's not comfortable at all. You see, many people don't fail because they lack intelligence, or talent, or opportunity. Many fail simply because they drift. They let the day decide for them. They let circumstances decide for them. They let moods and habits decide for them. They live life on autopilot. And autopilot is programmed for mediocrity. It takes discipline to override that system. I once had a student tell me, Mr. Rohn, I'll start when I feel ready. And I said, that's the problem. Readiness doesn't come before discipline. Readiness comes from discipline. You don't wait to feel discipline to begin. You begin, and discipline starts to grow. You don't wait to feel motivated to act. You act, and motivation follows. Success is like planting a garden. If you don't plant something useful, the weeds will plant themselves. That's drift. But if you plant deliberately, discipline, consistency, intention, soon you're tending a garden of your own design. That's the beauty of discipline. It doesn't just change your actions. It changes your environment. It changes your direction. It changes you. Discipline builds a new identity. Drift erodes the old one. Discipline restores confidence. Drift creates doubt. Discipline builds your future. Drift steals it. And here's the part most people overlook. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is permission, the permission to create the life you truly want. Discipline is saying, I deserve better than the life drift would give me. I deserve the life I choose. It is the discipline to plan your day instead of drifting through it. The discipline to create value instead of consuming endlessly. The discipline to invest instead of spending emotionally. The discipline to say, I start today, not I'll wait for someday. Someday is a thief, my friends. Today is a decision. So here's the philosophy I want you to carry with you. Every day you choose discipline or drift. One leads to mastery. The other leads to misery. And the beautiful part, you only need a little discipline to defeat a lot of drift. A small decision, a small action, a small commitment. Those are the bricks that build a new life. But philosophy without application is like a map without footsteps. It shows the way, but you're still standing still. That's why in the next section, I want to take these ideas and turn them into a simple, practical plan you can start today, something you can apply in the next 24 hours to begin the process of real transformation. Let's talk about how to implement these habits right now, simply, powerfully, and consistently. Now, my friends, philosophy is powerful. Mindset is essential. Understanding the principles, that's the beginning of wisdom. But let me tell you something equally important. The bridge between your philosophy and your results is action. You can read the books, listen to the lectures, take the notes, but until you take action, nothing changes. So let's make this incredibly practical. I want to give you a simple 4-step system, easy enough to start today, strong enough to change your entire direction. Not complicated, not overwhelming, just 4 powerful steps to put these habits into motion. Step 1, identify one bad habit to stop. Don't tackle 10 habits at once. That's too heavy. Start with 1. Maybe it's wasting time scrolling endlessly. Maybe it's emotional spending. Maybe it's consuming too much and producing too little. Whatever it is, choose one habit you know has been steering your life off course. Remember, you don't need to change your whole life overnight, just the habit that's hurting you the most. One small leak can sink a great ship. Plug that first. Step 2, choose one simple discipline to start. Every habit you stop must be replaced with a habit you start. Nature dislikes a vacuum, and so does your behavior. If you stop scrolling but don't replace it, the drift will fill the space with another distraction. So choose something small, meaningful, and doable. 10 minutes of planning, 15 minutes of reading, setting aside 5% of your income, learning a skill for 20 minutes, creating instead of consuming. Just one. Because one small discipline practiced daily is worth more than a burst of effort practiced occasionally. Step 3, track it for 7 days. Now here's where most people fail. They don't track anything. They hope, they guess, they assume, but awareness is the beginning of mastery, and mastery requires measurement. For the next 7 days, track. Did you stop your chosen bad habit? Did you start your chosen discipline? 7 days is short enough to be achievable, long enough to feel the shift. Let the calendar hold you accountable. Let your checklist speak the truth. Let your progress prove your commitment. Step 4, expand it to 30 days. Here's the magic. If you can do something for 7 days, you can do it for 30. If you can do it for 30, you can do it for a season. If you can do it for a season, you can do it for a lifetime. The first 7 days build awareness. The next 30 days build identity. And identity is where true transformation begins. During those 30 days, increase your self-investment. Build consistency. Add a second small discipline when you feel ready. Strengthen the systems that support your new habits. This isn't about perfection. It's about direction. A little discipline each day keeps drift far away. The simplicity of this plan. Let me tell you something. People complicate success because simple sounds too easy. But simple works. One bad habit removed. One good habit added. 7 days of tracking, 30 days of repetition. Do this for 3 months, just 3, and I promise you, your life will not look the same. Your mind will be clearer, your finances stronger, your confidence higher, and your direction sharper. Because change doesn't start with impossible steps, it starts with manageable steps, repeated consistently. Success is not a marathon of intensity. Success is a stroll of consistency. And consistency is simply discipline applied gently, daily, and deliberately. Now that we've turned principles into action, It's time to zoom out to understand the broader impact of these habits on your long-term future. Because these changes don't just affect today, they influence your tomorrow, your opportunities, and the person you ultimately become. Let's talk about the ripple effects, how these small habits transform your life over time. Now, my friends, let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Let's talk about the ripple effect, that quiet, powerful phenomenon that determines where your life ends up in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Because the truth is this, your habits don't just shape your days, your habits shape your destiny. And the smallest change today can create the biggest transformation tomorrow. Let me share a little insight I discovered early in my journey. A small decision repeated grows into a big result accumulated. And whether that result is good or bad depends entirely on the direction of your habits. Think of your life like a long-distance journey. If you shift your direction by just 1 degree today, you might not notice much difference tomorrow. But keep walking that new path for a year, and you end up in a completely different place. That's the ripple effect, small actions echoing through time. Let's talk about how this works. 1, habits shape your character. Every time you invest your time instead of wasting it, you become a person of focus. Every time you create value instead of consuming aimlessly, you become a person of contribution. Every time you invest instead of spending emotionally, you become a person of discipline. And character is not built in a day, it is built by your daily choices. Discipline becomes identity. Identity becomes destiny. 2, habits shape your opportunities. Opportunities don't appear randomly. They appear when you are prepared to see them. They appear when you've been practicing skills, building value, sharpening your mind, strengthening your reputation. Most people miss opportunities, not because they are unlucky, but because they are unprepared. Drift makes you blind to opportunity. Discipline sharpens your vision. A person who invests in themselves becomes someone the world notices. A person who creates value becomes someone the world rewards. A person with financial discipline becomes someone the world trusts. The world opens its doors to people who are ready, and your habits are how you get ready. 3, habits shape your relationships. People feel the energy you bring. If you're focused, disciplined, purposeful, generous, people want to be around you. People want to work with you. People want to trust you. But if your habits are chaotic, if you're always late, always stressed, always scattered, people sense that too. Your habits don't stay hidden. They reveal themselves in your behavior, your decisions, your presence. The right habits improve the way you show up in the world. And when you show up different, you attract different. 4, habits shape your financial future. A person who spends emotionally ends up with regret. A person who invests strategically ends up with options. Imagine this. 1 small investment every month for the next 10 years. 1 small skill improved every day for the next 5 years. 1 hour of learning every morning for the next 365 days. The ripple effect of these actions is extraordinary. Money grows. Skills compound. Opportunities expand. Confidence strengthens. And your future begins to look less like an accident and more like a masterpiece. 5, habits shape your sense of freedom. There is no freedom without discipline. None. And discipline does not restrict you. Discipline releases you. When you have control over your time, you're free. When you have control over your money, you're free. When you have control over your habits, you're free. Most people are not trapped by circumstances, they're trapped by patterns. Change the pattern, and you change the prison. 6, habits shape your legacy. Every good habit you build becomes a lesson for the next generation. Every bad habit you break becomes a burden lifted from those who come after you. Your habits today can echo through your family's history. You may not realize it now, but your discipline could be the seed that changes your entire lineage. The miracle of the ripple effect. Let me tell you something profound. You may not notice the ripple today, but the ripple never stops. The discipline you practice tonight could be the reason you earn a promotion next year. The hour you invest in learning could be the reason you start a business 5 years from now. The 5% you invest this month could be the reason your children inherit freedom instead of debt. Small habits don't stay small. They grow. They multiply. They compound, just like interest, just like wealth, just like character. And this is why your future is not determined by one moment, but by 1,000 moments just like this one, moments where you choose discipline over drift. Now that we've explored the ripple effect, it's time to bring everything together. Let's close with the final message, the invitation to embrace a new life, a new direction, and a new version of yourself. My friends, we've traveled quite a journey today. We've uncovered the habits that hold us back, the disciplines that move us forward, and the quiet principles that shape an extraordinary life. And before we close, I want to leave you with something not just to think about, but something to act upon. Today, you've learned 3 powerful reversals, 3 decisions that can transform everything. 1, stop wasting time, start investing time. 2, stop consuming everything, start producing value. 3, stop emotional spending, start strategic investing. These aren't theories. These aren't motivational slogans. These are the principles that rebuild lives, reshape futures, and rewrite destinies. Because listen carefully, success is not a secret to be discovered. Success is a habit to be practiced. And the good news is you don't need to change your life overnight. You simply need to start. Start with one discipline, one habit, one shift in thinking. And once you start, the momentum begins, the ripple grows, the future opens. I want you to remember something I've said for many years. You cannot change the wind, but you can change the set of your sail. And if you change the set of your sail, you change your entire direction. Life doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to decisions. And decisions, practiced daily, become habits. Habits, practiced consistently, become character. And character becomes destiny. Maybe no one ever told you this before, but let me tell you now. You have the ability to design your own life. You have the power to build the future you want. You have the capacity to rise above every limitation, every excuse, every circumstance that once held you back. The question is no longer can I? The question is now will I? Will you stop drifting and start directing your days? Will you stop consuming and begin contributing? Will you stop reacting and start building? Will you stop living by emotions and start living by principle? Because the next 5 years are going to pass no matter what. And 5 years from now, you will arrive somewhere. The only question is where? Will you arrive disappointed, frustrated, and unchanged? Or will you arrive disciplined, confident, free, and proud of the person you became? My invitation is simple. Begin today. Not tomorrow, not someday, but today. Take one habit from our journey together, just one, and make it yours. Practice it quietly, faithfully, consistently, and watch how the world begins to respond. Because life does not improve by accident, it improves by choice. Your choice. Right now, this moment, this decision, you have a gift, my friends, and that gift is today. Use it wisely. Plant the seeds, start the habits, change the direction, and your life will unfold in ways you cannot even imagine. I'll see you on the road of discipline, on the path of growth, and at the destination you choose with intention and purpose. Thank you for being here. And remember, it's never too late to build a new life. And it's always the right time to begin